Good evening. My name is Tim Richardson. I am with the Fraternal Order Police, the National Legislative Office here in town. I've been with the organization since, well, it was Clinton's first term, so we'll just leave it at that. But I'm here tonight to talk about the FOP's strong support of the Incorporation Transparency and Law Enforcement System Act. To us, this is a very straightforward, simple, black and white issue. We want to be able to require states to collect the beneficial ownership information on businesses that operate or do business in that state. It doesn't seem like a very big deal. States collect a lot of information. The federal government collects even more, as we've heard recently. I want to tell you about one case that made the headlines a few years ago. A man by the name of Miguel de Jesus Huertas was operating a fake AIDS clinic in Florida. He managed to steal $4.5 million and hid his activities behind a series of 29 shell corporations that were lawfully set up in numerous states in the United States. $4.5 million this individual stole. Law enforcement was ultimately able to identify and capture him, but it was a very lengthy, very expensive investigation. Why? Because he was hiding his activities behind the shell corporation. Now, when a robber goes into a store to steal some money, he wears a mask. Why? Doesn't want to be identified, doesn't want to be caught. When a burglar enters your house, he puts on gloves. Why? Doesn't want to be identified, doesn't want to get caught. So why would a businessman need 29 different shell corporations to operate his business enterprise? Because he doesn't want to be identified and he doesn't want to be caught. For us, that's the bottom line. We want to know who these individuals are so that when we come to a state with a lawful subpoena, with a court order, they can tell us, yes, this corporation is owned by John Smith. We don't want to know that it's the Smith Corporation, which is owned by John Doe Incorporated, which is owned by Smith LLC, which is based somewhere overseas. That's not helpful. A few years back, Jennifer Shasky, who is the director of the Financial Center for the Investigation of Crimes at the U.S. Department of Justice, testified that she'd been doing some training with federal law enforcement investigators that specialize in financial crimes, white-collar crimes, including local and state investigators. There was a series of seminars and of train-the-trainer events that was held throughout the period of a year. In each of those seminars, the question was posed, how many investigators have hit a dead end in an investigation because of a U.S.-issued shell company? In every single case, every single investigator said that they had hit a dead end as a result. When you apply for a firearms license in a state, you have to prove who you are. When you're getting your driver's license, you have to prove who you are. When you're getting a bank account, especially now, you've got to have a driver's license and some other form of ID to prove who you are. When you entered this building today, you had to show your identification document to prove who you are. This is very basic information, and I've yet to hear a meritorious argument as to why that info cannot be collected. It's a simple line on a form and stored by the state so that when it's needed by law enforcement, we can have it there. So when you are out there making your case to staff and to members of Congress, make sure that I think, is pointed out, be very clearly. Criminals hide their activities and they hide their identities so they can't be caught. We have the means and the technology now on the law enforcement side to identify and catch these guys, but only if states are willing to take the step and require business licensees to state for the record in a lawful way that we can collect it who owns those companies. And with that, I think I'll conclude. Thank you very much.